Dude, I am not loving the tweaking, Freddy. I fucking hate it, dude. I was tweaking Johnny's 5950X the other day. Dude, so like when Johnny paid for the consult, he's like, hey man, I got a 5950X. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do this, right? I don't want to fucking do this because, okay, you know what though? I think it's just the X570 Taichi that's finicky. So when I remoted into Johnny's 5950, like his PC, and he bought like some crazy ass RAM. He had what the hell was it, Johnny? It was 3600 C14 RAM, C15 RAM. It was something crazy. I never seen that RAM before. C14, 15, 15, 35 or something like that. And he bought 4 of these sticks, right? And they were B-die, obviously. Like fantastic. Like probably these sticks gave me the least headache for a consult I've ever had, dude, ever. Like I was done his computer in like fucking 20 minutes. So the RAM that he got when he enabled XMP, and I downloaded Zen timings and checked over his voltages. His voltages were completely different than mine. Like I have like 0.8 fucking CCD, and like his was like 1.05 CCD. I'm like, dude, are you getting any crackling with this? Let me move this over. He's like, no crackling. I'm like, what the fuck? If I do 1.05 CCD, my motherboard won't even boot, dude. It's crazy. I think consulting Zen 3 chips. Like, I got lucky with Johnny. I got really lucky with Johnny because all we did was just tighten the timings down, did an all-core overclock, and config the game, and he's getting 300 FPS, right? 250 to 300. So I got really lucky there because I didn't have to actually do the CCD and IODs for him. Somehow we also stopped at 3600 though, so that's the other thing. But on that topic, people are gonna be like, why'd you stop at 3600? Can't you go to like 4000? You know those fucking idiots on YouTube. 4000 FCLK? You're losing performance on the table, bro. Okay, now we're gonna dive into the part that I have to crop for YouTube. Okay, one sec. Look at this. Where's my video here? We'll do something special when we hit 5,000, I think. Where's my IDA number? IDA, here we go. Okay, look at this. Oh, shit. So this is, why are there, this is my IDA number for, let me move this over for you so you guys can see it. Oh, you can see that, whatever. Yeah, whatever, 3800 C14. Look at the nanoseconds, right? And the bandwidth here, right? Now look at what I got with 3600. This is the new number here. Can you see that? I'm gonna assume that you guys can see that. So old, new. Dude, 3600. I tightened the timings down. This took me about 3 days to tighten the timings down. I can't really move out of the way. Oh, there you go. Yeah, you can see the timing. So 14, 14, 14, 34, 14, 13, 12, 27, CR1. 0.1 nanosecond difference between these. Do you see that? 54.8, 54.9. And that is a 100 megahertz FCLK difference. Right? So the next thing that the YouTube comments are gonna, and the reason why I had to do this, I already told you guys in that last video, was because of the crackling and all that shit, right? So platform stability is not gaming stability for Zen, specifically for Zen. You can crank it to 3800, but you might get crackling, you might get weird fucking problems popping. The platform as a whole is not stable. But this on the right here is 100% stable, down to the 0.001 fucking millivolt. So when my wife gets this, she's getting the one on the right, the fully fucking tweaked stable shit. Now, let's go over the benchmarks that I did. Don't save. Don't save. Don't save. So let's start. These are just all the numbers that I recorded last night. So I was gonna make a separate video for this, but I didn't have time, so we'll just do it here so I can crop this for YouTube later. Let's start with Strange Brigade. These are the old numbers, right? New number. So we lost 6 FPS. We lost 6 FPS at 1080. This is 540p. 540p. We lost 6 FPS. So zero difference. Zero difference. What is that? You know what? Just for the YouTube idiots. 654 divided by 648. 1% difference. 1% difference. So what are you seeing so far? Fabric does not matter. Latency does. Fabric doesn't fucking matter. Let's go to the next game. Division 2. Where's my Division 2 number here? 289. We got FPS. What? Right? Oh, how can that be? How can we gain FPS when we reduce the fabric clock? How does that make any sense, right? And the latency is higher. Why? Why, right? Let's move on to the next game. What's the next one here? Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn. How do I fit these both to my screen here? Oh my god. Okay, I'll do it like this. Average 227. We got FPS again. Max. Someone just gifted something. Chris Kendall gifted a sub. Thanks so much, dude. Really appreciate it. White Ren just resubbed for 2 months. Dude, thanks so much. Merry Christmas, or I guess Happy New Year's now, but, or whatever, you know what I mean? Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. Thanks so much, guys. Really appreciate it. White Ren, I haven't seen you for a while, dude. Welcome back. Oh wait, you can't see this. I'll move this over here. So, Horizon Zero Dawn, average went up. It made it so it beat the Intel chip. Look at that. Well, not by much, it's a tie now, but check that out. Check that out. So reducing the fabric clock, look at the minimum. Look at, that's huge. You know why though? It's a similar. We doubled our minimum because the platform is stable now. It's the same thing as a cache miss, pretty much. Like if you overclock an Intel system and it feels stable, and you overclock it just a little too far on the rings, cache. Rems tipped $10. Have a good stream. I'll have to catch the rest on YouTube. Sounds good, dude. Thanks so much for stopping by, Rems. Enjoy the console tweaking, my man. Kill all those noobs. So when you overclock the ring or cache on an Intel system just like one tick too far, it kind of works fine, but then you'll feel like really low, like when the cache misses, it'll dip down to like fucking 50 or 40 FPS and then go back up to 300. That's pretty much what was happening here with the Zen chip. So even though it was game stable, this is a perfect example of why chilling out and just reducing your fabric speed gets you FPS across the board. Higher minimum, higher average, lower maximum, but who cares about that, right? Let's go on to the next game. Oh, wait. Horizon Zero Dawn. Metro Exodus. Metro. Same thing again. Look at this. It beat the Intel chip by reducing fabric speed. Look at this. Look at this. Actually fucking insane. Insane, dude. Look at this. 255 average. Look at that. Minimum 130. Look at that. because it's platform stable now. It's not, there's no like static in the fabric lines anymore, right? It's actually insane, dude. So again, another perfect example. Stop trying to max out fabric. Hang on. Stop trying to max out fabric on Zen. Max out your latency at whatever fabric is stable, like platform stable. This is so like XOC guys will never like, you'll never learn this from an XOC guy, because they'll actually get higher numbers with more unstable higher clock speeds and frequencies, right? In gaming, doesn't matter. Get the latency down. Okay, next game. Metro. So what, dude, the fucking Zen chip beat the Intel one across the board here so far with the reduced fabric speed. It's crazy. Not by much, like 5-10 FPS, but it's a tie, but still it's beating itself before by a lot. Tomb Raider. Where we got here? Tomb Raider. Okay, this one actually lost 9 FPS. So this game clearly does scale with fabric speed of some sort. Outlier. It still doesn't matter. This is 1080p. This is 540p. Oh wait, let me move this over. Keep forgetting. This is 540p. It doesn't matter. The Tomb Raider is kind of a weird game where it just scales with everything anyway, right? So one game out of 6 so far where the 3950 or the 5950X actually lost performance. Okay, next game. We got 2 more games. Valhalla. Don't tell me I just erased that shit. Oh my god. There we go. Valhalla. Right here. Here. We got 10 FPS. The lows went up by 30 FPS. So anyway, moral of the story here. Stop trying to max out your fabric. Don't worry about it. If you can get to 3600, just crank those timings down as far as you can. Stop worrying about fabric speed. Doesn't matter. Doesn't fucking matter. Last game. Watch Dogs. Okay, I'll talk about Warzone after this. Watch Dogs Legion. Average went up 5. So this game didn't really change much, to be honest, but it still went up. That's it. So, in conclusion, I guess let me conclude this fucking video here. Okay, so Warzone, I didn't benchmark Warzone because at the time of doing that video, at the time of the benchmark video, that was pre-Cold War. So all those numbers that you saw in Warzone on that benchmark video was literally a day before the Cold War patch came out that incorporated Cold War and Warzone together. So literally the day after, I was just about to do that SMT off video, and then I go into Warzone and I'm like, why are my FPS so much fucking lower? I literally just tried this yesterday. And then after doing a little bit of research, yeah, the Cold War patch messed a lot of shit up. So me doing another benchmark video of this would be completely inaccurate now. It's a completely different way that they're doing the engine now. Completely different. Same principle as GPU memory clock. Yeah, kind of. Yes, exactly. Um, same result but different. It's the you achieve the same result of more FPS with a lower clock, but the reasoning behind it is a little different, right? Let me catch up on the chat here. So I'm going to have to redo like a separate Call of Duty video. So like I need to actually go. Okay, you know what I'll do? In my next video or my next Warzone video, I'll just do all four. I'll do SMT on and off for the 10900K and the 5950X, and then I'll just have to redo everything for like post Cold War, I want to say, because Cold War fucked a lot of shit up, dude. The whole game is different now. The way the entire game is rendered now is completely different. So I didn't actually do those numbers for this video that we're gonna be putting on YouTube after, right? It would be completely inaccurate, and it sucks because like I made that teaser at the end of that video and I was like, oh my god, SMT off is gonna be sick, and then like the next day they patched it and I'm like, oh my god, dude, I look like a fucking idiot now. You literally just don't know. Oh, Horizon Zero Dawn. Here, 1 second here. Yeah, that's where the SMT Zero video went, man. They literally patched Cold War the day after. I'm like, fuck, like. It is what it is. You can't control patch cycles, right? That makes, you know, honestly, benchmarking, testing, fixing, analyzing, like all these terms that you want to throw at it for Warzone. You know how there's like full-time content creators for Warzone, dude? It's a full-time job, dude, just doing this game, because they change so much shit all the fucking time, dude. And even just like shadow nerfing guns and stuff, if you ever watch Exclusive Ace, and then like he'll find like shadow nerfs on guns and shit, like they don't put it in the patch notes and shit. It's brutal, dude. Like I can't base too much content around this game because they change it so much, right? So that also affects the consoles. It affects, like, you know what I mean? Hang on, let me quickly catch up here. I don't get any crashes. Yeah, exactly. So how it affected the consoles? People would pay for a console and they'd be like, dude, I see you have 300 FPS in Warzone. I'll be like, how the hell did you do that? And then so I'm fixing their computer for them. And this is like the day after when Cold War came out, right? And I don't play Warzone too much. So I'm like in their computer, I'm like, why isn't this guy getting as much FPS as he used to? And then, like they don't know that it was the Cold War patch. I didn't know it was the Cold War patch. So I'm like dicking around trying to figure out what the fuck happened to this game. I finally did. I kind of might have found a Cold War FPS drop fix. I think I might have. I have to test this a little bit more. But I told Johnny about it and it fixed it for him. So I have to wait. But it took me like 5 fucking days of testing to try and find a way around the Cold War FPS drop, right? But because I have to, it's part of like, it's like kind of my job now to like fix Warzone for consoles now, you know what I mean? So it's like kind of my job, so like I have to fucking invest time into fixing Warzone constantly to give my clients the competitive edge kind of thing, you know what I mean? Warzone's a shit show, dude. It's a complete fucking shit show. But that's why I didn't include it in this benchmark suite of games. But before we move on, to conclude here, guys, when you are tuning Zen, don't listen to mainstream techs. I made this mistake too, man. I didn't benchmark those games with my headphones on. They don't do it either. I didn't know Zen had like a platform stable state. There's like a gaming stable state and there's a platform stable state, right? I didn't know that. Nobody fucking knows that shit, dude. Don't listen to XOC guys because they're just gonna crank the fabric as high as they can, right? So, okay, you know what? I'll do a step-by-step here quickly. Step 1, set your RAM to some crazy-ass timing, like 22, 22, 22, fucking 42, right? Just get your timings out of the way. Step 2, get your fabric as high as you can go. This is like the process now that I'm going to be doing for consults for Zen going forward, right? Get the fabric as high as you can without crackling. As soon as it starts crackling or some shit starts going on in there, back it off one, leave it there. Step 3, once you've found Gimlin's now Gremlin? What's up, man? Thanks for following. Once you've found your max fabric stable, there's like a new term that we have to actually, like, once you found your platform stable max fabric, tighten your timings down. Step 4, crank those timings down as far as you can go. Get that latency down. Get that latency down. That's it. Don't do anything else. Don't. And when I say get your fabric as high as possible, platform stable. Platform, you like, and I showed you guys how to do that in that last video where I used the capture card. If the capture card flickered a single time, not stable. Not stable. It has to have zero flickering whatsoever. If it flickers once in like 30 minutes, not stable. Not stable. You know what I mean? That was my process of doing it, right? That's how I determined platform stable for these numbers here, right? There's no flickering, zero problems with Zen at those timings that I showed you. Anyway, that's pretty much it that I'm gonna talk about for the Zen for this video. Does anyone have any questions on that before we kind of move on topics here? Mac 10 DMR new meta. Yeah, I know, I have to level those guns up. Literally every patch since release has knocked off FPS. Yes, it has. It's fucking weird, dude. And it's getting more and more difficult to pull FPS out of Warzone. But Johnny and those guys can tell you, man, like they've been so happy with my consulting service because I extract that shit fucking out of the game engine, dude. I make it my fucking job to make sure I get FPS out of that shit, dude. Everyone's been so happy. Will the 3090 be bottlenecked at 800K? No, it won't be. 8700K stock or overclocked? Craxy. You get weapon XP for whatever gun you're holding. Yeah. Oh, and when you complete a contract. Yeah, that's true. Yes. Sup, Gemini? Oh, Gemini. That's what it is. Fuck. Sorry. Dude, you know what the problem is? Because when you follow and the thing pops up on my screen, it's like my monitor on the left over here is in portrait mode. So like the screen's like this big and I have to like squint to see what it says and I can't really see it. That's why I couldn't actually read it. Mainstream was sort of right with lower clocks at 3600 being better. Well, no, but that's just okay. So that's a good point to bring up. 3600 versus 3800. This is just true for right now. True for right now, because anything above this is so unstable. That's why. If they release future Agisas where you can get 3800 fabric platform stable, like no flickering, no hissing, none of that shit. If they get this and then you can reduce the timings further, like timings equal to this, there's no reason why this wouldn't be faster. It's just true for right now. Like, the mainstream tech tubers didn't know that shit, dude. They hit XMP and they fucking they press go. It just happened to be really lucky that, like, the 3600 was, like, the sweet spot. They just got lucky with that shit, dude. But that's for right now. Because I can tell you, with my 3950X that I had before, I got it up to 3800 fabric, and it was much faster than 3600 fabric. Zwangler just resubscribed for 3 months. Sup, man? How's it going, dude? Thanks for subbing again. Really appreciate it. Yeah, so like with Zen 2, it's kind of more mature now. So cranking your fabric, like, you don't get much hissing out of Zen 2 anymore at higher fabric speeds. I never had that weird fucking hissing problem at 3800. You know what I mean? It was like, it just worked fine. I didn't have to fuck with those voltages and shit, but I also adopted Zen 2 really late in its life cycle as well. So this is just true for now. Keep that in mind, right? For now, just get platform stable, and you saw the results. The FPS was higher across the average, and the minimums were higher across the board, dude, by lowering the fabric speed. Right? So just do that. Don't worry about it for now. If you're a gamer, if not an XOC channel, if you're just playing games with your Zen chip right now, don't worry about it. There's literally actually, you get like a 5% performance gain by lowering fabric speed. You know what I mean? So if you're an actual gamer, lower that shit on purpose, dude. Make that shit platform stable. Make it stable. Let me catch up on the chat here quickly. Sorry, guys. That was a really good point, though. The IMC is what's the limit, but IMC doesn't mean... The IMC is the same. Also, keep in mind that... Oh, another good point. These numbers that I'm showing you guys were 4x8 RAM sticks. You could probably get one bin higher on 2x16. I'm using 4x8 because my wife has 4x8 G-Skill Royals, so I had to tune this when I transplant it. But if you have 2x16, you can probably get a free bin up, like 3666 fabric. 1833. Like going to 2x16 is like a free upgrade of fabric speed. I didn't try that. I haven't tried that. I don't really care that much though, because the FPS in Warzone in this is gonna be so insane for her anyway. Yeah, I also brought that up. What's normal with most games? The more complicated the game, yes, the more shut. Dude, it's true. Warzone. It's because it's a console port. It's a cross-platform. Can you call it a shitty engine though? It's an engine that works across 6-7 different platforms, dude. So in that regard, it could be a good engine. It just sucks for us. But 7 platforms and it has to just work? Like, so the fact that we have to put in that much effort to make it work properly, it makes sense, dude. It makes sense. How do I go about getting consultation to get a stable overclock? Oh, thanks, Freddy. Drift in, just go to the consulting webpage, dude, and just hit the button. And I'll just contact you after the stream. If you don't have a capture card or some way to test the crackle, it's distinct. I'm very noise sensitive when I play games, so I can hear footsteps like a mile away, right? I'm really competitive that way. So if I hear a little like static or white noise, I'm like, this is fucking unacceptable. But the average person might not be able to hear it. You know what I mean? So if you don't have a capture card, I would invite you, this goes for all the people on YouTube as well, I would invite you to try 3600 RAM speed and lower the timings as much as you possibly can, and then just do a benchmark comparison for yourself. Like what games did I use here where it gained? Horizon Zero Dawn, use this one. This was a big one. Valhalla was a big one. What other one was a big one? Oh yeah, Metro was a big one too. Use these games and just do it yourself. And then if you notice that, my minimums and my averages are kind of going up here, then you weren't platform stable. Not as platform stable as you think you were. Do you know what I mean? It is a combo of motherboard, IMC, and all that fucking shit. But there's no harm in you going and testing it yourself on your own system. Right? So don't the whole point of overclocking and tweaking a game, as a gamer, when you're overclocking, don't get attached to larger numbers. This is so key. It's so key when you're it's the same thing. So I had a couple of consults where they'll have a 1000K, and then I'll set the ring speed to 46 ring. And then they'll be like, oh man, it kind of hitches every 60 seconds or so. I'm like, okay, reduce ring speed to 47. They're like, can I just increase some voltages? I don't want to lose FPS. I'm like, dude, don't get attached. Don't get attached to the higher number. This is gonna give you a way more competitive gaming advantage than this. And more heat into your CPU and more fucking bullshit. Just lower it. It's okay. You're gonna lose 1% FPS maybe. You know what I mean? Don't get attached to the higher number. Test it yourself. Test all I know 3800 looks attractive, but if 3600 gives you more FPS, who cares? Numbers are numbers, man. Numbers don't lie. The benchmarks don't fucking lie, dude. Like doing it yourself, the benchmarks don't lie. You know what I mean? Just try it. Give it a shot, dude. That's what the benchmarks are there for. But don't use Fire Strike and Time Spy and the synthetic stuff. Use the game ones, the game engines. You have to use those. Don't use synthetics. I'm sure these probably would scale with fabric speed. They scale with everything, right? That's what I'm talking about. Use game. Yeah. Anyway, beating a dead horse here. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Sully Craze. 2000 FCLK next to Geesa, so you have to keep. I'm not touching it anymore, dude. When this goes into my wife's system, that's it. That's fucking it, dude. I don't care. What does she need an extra 20 FPS on top of 300 in Warzone for, dude? It's fine. She values stability way more than an extra fucking 5 FPS. Not an XOC channel. It's just stability and competitive edge. I am embarrassed to say I bought into Zen hype and moved from 1000K. It took me a week to get back to 1000K. Oh yeah, dude, good. Yeah, Gemini. People don't know, man. People just don't know. How would you know? How would you know, dude? How would you know? It's not your fault. Don't be embarrassed, dude. And you know how many consults have made that mistake? Like 80% of the consults are like, dude, I have a 3090 and a 3950X and I'm getting 50 FPS. I'm like, you done goofed, bro. It's not your fault. It's not your fault that Linus and Jay are the biggest channels. Just be happy that you found my channel now and I can fix it for you. You're doing the right thing. If you if you fuck up, don't be upset that you fucked up. Just fix that shit. Fix that shit. Be happy later. You learned a valuable lesson. What's that saying? Failure is the best teacher. That's it. Don't worry about it. Anytime you fuck something up, dude, don't worry about it. You're gonna learn something from it. That's all that matters. Catching up on the chat here. I'm pretty sure the X570 Taichi is a very, very unique motherboard when it comes to voltages, dude. That's why I don't tell anybody my voltages. From the consoles that I've seen on Zen 3, my voltages are completely fucking different, dude. Not even close. That's why I was having such a hard time tweaking this. I'm like, why are my voltages not working when everybody else is? Like, you go on Reddit and shit, and everyone has those voltages. You're like, why isn't this shit working for me? It's really weird, dude. It's really weird. If anyone does have a Tai Chi, I'll give you my voltages then, because then that might actually help you. Okay, hang on, catching up here. Oh yeah, dude, even if you do buy a Zen platform and you just fall into the mistake of cranking up to 3800 fabric speed or whatever, it's gonna feel like a shitty gaming experience. It's gonna like you won't like, your brain won't be able to put a finger on it, but it's gonna be like, huh, this doesn't feel as good as Intel. And it's because it's not platform stable. You know what I mean? But it still games fine. It's hard to describe. It's really hard. The Dark Hero doesn't do anything, dude. Gemini. We have quite a few guys on the Discord with the Dark Hero, and that dynamic OC shit does absolutely nothing in gaming, dude. Zero. It's an overclocking feature. It's a benchmarking feature. It's not a gaming feature. It does absolutely. Save your money and just buy a cheap B550, dude. It does fuck all in gaming. My FPS on mine is way higher than everybody else's, and they all have like the Dark Hero and shit, dude. It does absolutely nothing. Just joined. What's the difference in DRAM voltage? Oh, good question. Good question. Same DRAM voltage. 1.475 DRAM voltage is what I'm using on the 4x8. The reason I'm using this and not going higher and tightening the timings any further, I should say, if I go 1.5 on those sticks, it gets too hot after about 15 minutes of OCCT, and it gets errors. Just because the G Skill Royals are just it's not the best heatsink on those things. If you have a better heatsink, maybe you can, but 1.475 DRAM voltage is the same that I used for the 2x16 3800 and the 4x8 3600. So that's what I used. Good question though, really good question. I didn't change the DRAM voltage at all.